Hi everyone, welcome back for another video. Hey, I want to take a moment to welcome the new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining my channel. I pray that it will continue to be a blessing to you. So today it is an encouraging message, I hope. It's something that came to mind the other day, and I've done a couple of similar videos in the past, but this one is a little bit different. So, you know, everybody has these periods in their life where they feel stuck in life. If you are in that place right now, I pray that this will bless you. I pray that this video will be a blessing to you and encouragement to you. I'm going to just kind of give a brief overview because it's a long story when you think about David. David, we can learn so much from his life. We can be so encouraged by his life. He went through a lot. Most of the book of Psalms he wrote, and you can just feel his heart in those Psalms. Most of us know Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Many of us learned that as children. I know that I did. All of us, or many of us know Psalm 91 too. So many, Psalm 121, so many. What's your favorite Psalm? I'd love to know what it is. Put it in the comments. And hey, don't forget to like this channel. And if this is your first time joining us, please subscribe, like the video, and so that you can get more videos. So yeah, everybody has periods where they feel stuck sometimes. But sometimes it can feel like years, and sometimes it really is like years. And I'm talking about not just feeling stuck. I'm talking about where you literally feel trapped, like you're just stuck in a frozen water, in Alaska somewhere, just stuck in Antarctica. I believe that's the name of the continent, where everything is so cold and everything is frozen. And it's like you can feel that way in life where you just feel stuck and nothing is moving, nothing is going. But feeling trapped is even, even harder because, you know, it's just a little bit deeper. It's a little bit more into it. So David was a ruddy young man. He was ruddy. That's how the Bible describes him. I'm going to read just a few passages to just kind of highlight. The rest will be in the description box. But David was one that was the youngest of Jesse. Jesse was a man here mentioned in the Bible, and he had all of these sons. And Samuel had been told by God to go to Jesse's house because there would be the king, and there is the king that he wanted to anoint, which was David. The people had wanted a king. They was all after Samuel, saying, make us a king. We want a king like all of the other nations. And they wound up with King Saul. Saul had some issues. He had some major issues. But, he didn't have a heart after God. He started off right, but he got crooked. He started doing things that pleased the people, not what was pleasing to God. So God sought a man who would be after his own heart, and David was that man. Well, he was just a boy, really, when he was called. David was ruddy. He was a shepherd. He was the youngest. He was handsome. He just didn't look like a man of war. He didn't look like a boy who really had any kind of power. He didn't carry himself in a way that was seen to be kingly, to be royal, not in the eyes of man. But God said, no, look, everybody looks at the outward appearance, but I look at the heart. And so David was overlooked. He was one that they just didn't see he had much in him. I mean, even his own father considered him just a shepherd. Let me read this now. It's time for me to go over this main passage here. It's First Samuel, actually, 16th chapter, 11 through 13. It says, "And Samuel said to Jesse, 'Are all the young men here?' Then he said, 'There remains yet the youngest, and there he is keeping the sheep.'" See how he didn't really think that much of his son? Didn't really think that much of him. He loved him, but he just didn't think he was kingly material. And Samuel said to Jesse, "Send and bring him, for we will not sit down till he comes here." See, all of his other sons had passed through. I mean, Jesse was like, yes, surely these were, and they were the older ones. They were more, probably muscular looking or looked kingly or carried themselves in a way that was, like a warrior or like a king. Well, Samuel, he was like, no, no, these are not the ones. This ain't it right here. So, verse 12. So he sent and brought him in, and now he was ready, like I said, with bright eyes and good looking. And the Lord said, "Arise," talking to Samuel, "anoint him, for this is the one." Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brothers. In the midst of his brothers. Get that. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward. The Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward. Now, fast forward. Fast forward. Many years went by. He had been anointed the king, but it was years before he actually became king. Fast forward. Let me explain to get to the meat of this video. In the midst of all this time, Saul, at first he loved David. God actually, the Lord sent a distressing spirit. And one of his servants, he was like, look, y'all find me somebody to help me get out of this bad mood. I just got this spirit. But it was the Lord that sent that spirit to Saul. Saul called for somebody that could play, that could maybe ease him. Well, David was a musician. He was a musician. He had been in the field out with the shepherds. Well, David was a servant to Saul. Understand this. A lot of time went by. Here's the thing. David went from being out in the field to being placed in the palace, but he still wasn't on the throne, but he had been anointed to be king. Didn't know when. Saul looked like he loved him. Then Saul got to where he was trying to kill him. I mean, everybody, he was like, y'all, we need to kill him. We need to kill him. He had a plot to kill him, tried to kill him I don't know how many times. Here is the point. A lot of years went by. David was in a place where he knew he had been anointed to be king, but he was stuck at just being a servant to Saul, somebody who was two-faced, two-faced. Y'all ever heard that term? It's like he acted like he loved them and everything was hunky-dory as long as he was playing for him. But then it was like Saul started getting jealous of him. Then it was like David was probably, think about it, just human nature. He was feeling probably trapped. It's like, okay, I can't go home. I've been anointed to be king. I can't do harm to this king, even though he's trying to kill me. He was between a rock and a hard place, as some people say. He was stuck, and it was like he was trapped too. You might be feeling this way, where it's like God has called you for greatness. He's called you to do something. My friend, you have been. Everybody has been called to do something. But there is a waiting period that must take place. During this waiting period, understand that it is a preparatory stage for God to prepare you for what it is that He called you to. Don't know how long it will be. David didn't know how long it would be. His father Jesse, his brothers, they didn't know how long it would be. First off, didn't nobody think that the boy had it in him. It was like, what do you mean? Him? What? Really? And then it was like, because he felt trapped probably out in the field, but at the same time, he was probably okay with that. But at the same time, who knows, he may not have been, because think about it, didn't nobody really think that much of him. So he had a period of time where he was just probably feeling stuck out there with the sheep, nothing really going on, no advancement, no promotion, or so it seemed. You see, people look at the outward appearance. They're probably looking at you at your outward appearance. You may not look like much or nothing. Perhaps people may not have thought or think that there's nothing in you. But my friend, God sees you and He knows your heart. You see, There was a preparatory time that was being done in the field. When David was a shepherd, God was also preparing him, even in his stagnation, what appeared to be stagnation, what appeared to be like he wasn't really doing much of nothing. It appeared to the world that he wasn't, but you see, David, he took joy. He took joy in what he was doing. He would spend time out there with him. Just think about it, just praising the Lord out there, tending to the sheep. A shepherd. That's a preparatory phase for a king in God's eyesight. David's heart was towards God. And what people didn't know was that God was looking at his heart, and he was being prepared during a time where they probably thought that he wasn't going to be nothing, wasn't about nothing. And he may have thought himself that he was stuck, that he was just kind of out there. Nobody really seemed to pay him any attention, didn't really think that much of him. But God was preparing him. And my friend, that might be you. That might be you right now. And then just all kind of stuff was going on where Saul was trying to kill him, had people trying to hunt him down. Jonathan, thank God, his son, Saul's son, Jonathan, loved him and God used him to warn him of things. But even during that time, after he was removed to the field, but yet taken to Saul to serve Saul, he still was in a position where he was just kind of stuck and feeling trapped. It's like, my God, what do I do? What do I do? I feel like I can't go home. I can't get on the throne. I'm stuck. I feel trapped. But my friend, God was prepping him even in the middle of that, where he was running for his life. And he had opportunities to kill Saul, but he didn't. So people may not think that you are going to amount to anything. You may not, you may not even think that you're going to amount to anything. You may not think like you look like you should or should to be accepted, to be appreciated or whatever. But my friend, if you will allow the Lord to prepare your heart, set your heart on pleasing the Lord, and he will see your heart and he will reward you. And people may not see it, but God sees it. And that's all that matters. That's who you want to impress. Because if you impress him, if you find favor with him, then the Spirit of the Lord will be with you the moment you do that and set out to do that from that day forward. My friend, let it be today that you do that, so that the Spirit of the Lord, when you set your heart to serve him, to please him, to do what's pleasing in his eyesight, doesn't matter what people think and what they see. God is looking at your heart. He's looking at your heart. And whatever is on your heart, whatever you've purposed in your heart, then that, my friend, is what matters to God. So be encouraged. It probably feel like you're stuck. It may seem like you're trapped, but it's actually God keeping you in a bubble. It's a bubble of protection, a bubble where you're being prepared for that greatness that he has called you to. So be encouraged now. All right. Don't look at how you look. Don't let people, say, well, you don't look like much. You ain't going to be about nothing. You can't do this. No. You have been anointed, my friend, to do a great work. But make sure that your heart stays committed, devoted. Be like David. Be after God's heart, and he will reward you for the heart that you have created for him, that you have set towards him and pleasing him. And he, my friend, will give you that favor that you want, that you need, that you have, that you will have from here on out. And when you have his favor, he'll make it where you have favor with other people too. So just seek him, okay? Don't let anybody discourage you or put you down. They may try, they may do it, but look, you just keep trying to please the Lord. Keep pleasing him, and he will do right by you. All right? Hope you have been encouraged by this video. I hope that it's been a blessing to you. Look, until the next video, I pray that you have a wonderful day. I pray that you will just continue to succeed in everything that you set your heart to do. Again, set your heart towards God, and he will make everything in your life prosperous. You take care. Until the next video. Bye.